Well, that response from the Azimio team was triggered after Deputy President William Ruto said that the 2018 handshake between President Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga is to blame for the runaway government borrowing. The Kenya Kwanza team claims Raila failed to check the government after he went into a pact with the president. But as Chemutai Goin now reports, Parliament's Budget Committee has dismissed the claims as acts of dishonesty aimed at whipping public emotions on unsubstantiated claims.
Before hitting the campaign trail early Monday morning, the Kenya Kwanza team pumped up its volume on its criticism of President Kenyatta's final budget, blaming the handshake for the spiraling debt levels. They claim the budget was only 4.5 trillion shillings prior to the handshake, but has since risen to 11.7 trillion.
The question is this: was the handshake a license to burdening Kenyans with punitive public debt, punitive taxation, punitive food prices, and a high cost of living?
But the Parliamentary Budget Committee, through its chairman Kanini Kega, shut down the claims, terming them as misleading.
The current level of debt is 8.2 trillion and not 11 trillion as alleged by some quarters. And the evidence is there. Information is given by the central bank. We have that official report from central bank. So any other person saying the contrary is basically spreading lies.
Kama mumekwisha na messaging, narrative yenu imekwisha, mumeshaona sasa kuna kitu kingine, wacheni whip emotions of Kenyans. Stop inciting poor Kenyans. We have a bigger agenda.
The Kenya Kwanza team also blasted National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani, alleging that he had violated the law and exceeded the debt ceiling set by Parliament from shillings 9 trillion to 12 trillion.
The National Assembly and the Senate must avoid any further strangulation of Kenyans with additional debt by refusing any request for approval of a new debt ceiling. We are aware that the CS for the National Treasury has prepared for submission to Parliament a new debt ceiling of approximately over Kenya shillings 12 trillion.
I withdrew the BPS to allow for more consultations, and the hypocrisy in the proposal by other quarters is evident on account of the fact that their proposals are contradictory in that they are expansive in nature, yet they are calling for fiscal deficit reduction.
They are taking us for granted. Look at this. They are saying, don't increase public debt. But on the other side, they are saying increase money for drought mitigation, increase money to the counties.
Even they are talking about money.
So the question is, where is this money going to come from?
Yeah. The DP's team says the current debt levels were now at crisis level.
Recent surveys indicate that up to 67% of Kenyans strongly believe the country is heading in the wrong direction.
Parliament remains committed to managing debt within sustainable and tolerable limits.
I wish to tell Kenyans what the Budget Committee has stated is the true position on the ground today, that Kenya is sound and Kenya is moving forward.
The Budget Committee chairman in his statement showing that as at June 2013, the public debt was at Kenya shillings 1.9 trillion and that by June 2018, the figure was locked at Kenya shillings 5.05 trillion. By December last year, it was Kenya shillings 8.2 trillion and that the projection for June this year was Kenya shillings 8.8 trillion. And that due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economy, financial public expenditure was bound to rise. Despite shooting down the BBI report, whose proposals included increased allocation to the devolved units to 35%, the Kenya Kwanza team have proposed that in the 2022-2023 budget, they should factor a 35% increase in equitable share to counties from 370 billion to 395 billion shillings.
On one side, you are saying BBI is bad. Then when BBI is going to the drain, you come and tell Kenyans want to increase. That's why I'm saying Kenyans are not stupid. The only people who have moral authority to propose any change to equitable share can only be those members who supported BBI.
Kenya Kwanza is also proposing the allocation of 50 billion shillings to support the upcoming businesses, additional funding to drought mitigation programs, funds towards additional training of teachers, especially on CBC, and an extra 5 billion shillings to the fertilizer subsidy program to aid in stabilizing its cost. With both sides sticking to their guns, the country's debt situation is now well and truly at the center of the election campaigns. Chamutai Goen, Citizen TV, Nairobi.